first have to unpack all that because the crinkling will make you crazy. Pro tip, if you put a piece of washi tape near your camera, then it will attract your eyes and you will look into the camera just like that. Well, hello there, or moin as we say here in Hamburg. Welcome to Stitch-Ilonka. My name is Ilonka. Yes, it's spelled with an I but pronounced with an E. And this is my channel all about cross stitch and shenanigans. Well, I think this catchphrase was coined by Betsy Klager, didn't it? I don't know. Well, anyway, welcome to my new viewers. Happy to have you here. Have a look around. Please don't look at the very first video. It was really bad compared to what I do now. Yeah, and to all my returning viewers, great, you made it through the first episode and you still came back. What am I talking? Okay, yeah, hello, all you lovely, beautiful, wonderful people. And I just wanted to say I'm back after 3 weeks of a short hiatus. I had to film a German video in between due to high demand. There was someone in the comments on my German video saying, hey, you've done already like 5 floss tubes in English and only 3 videos in German, so why? Can we please have more in German? So I had to answer that call first. And by the way, if you are German speaking and you haven't seen my my German floss tubes, please head over there. They are labeled Stickjunkies. And they have specific German content like shopping tips, or what I am very excited about is that I want to make a meetup happen next year. So please hop over to those videos, comment and share your ideas with me. And I have a new notebook and I'm currently in the process of collecting all the informations where some kind of meetups can be next year. And yeah, I'm very, very determined to make that happen next year. Today I just wanted to make a quick check-in before before Christmas, and I planned on doing the obligatory FFO and whip parade by the end of the year. So I will do it in between years, as we say here in Germany. I don't know, is that a phrase that you would say in English? Like the time between Christmas and New Year, we call it, or we define this as between years. So this is neither the old year nor the new year. Oh my God. That's a tongue twister. So it's just in between years. That's the time where I have this superstition that was planted into me by my mom that I will not have the washing machine going, so I don't do any laundry during that time. So it's really a time for contemplation. I usually set up my one little word journal up for the next year and all of that stuff. So this is really a wonderful opportunity for me to sort through the whips that I have, the stash that I have, and make some plans for New Year. So that will be the time that I will have time to film the whip parade. Okay, now speaking of German phrases or German sayings, I want to introduce a new segment into my floss tube, which is, I don't have a name for this segment yet. We'll figure it out. Anyway, we have such a variety of cultures and countries and languages in this community, and I want to take advantage of that because there are like sayings or phrases that we use all over the world that mean kind of the same thing. We are just using different metaphors for it. And I was talking to Michal, who is Star Parade Michael here on Flosstube, and he's Polish. And we were just talking about that, and he already provided me with the Polish translation of some phrases that I want to share with you in a second. But what I want to say is I invite you to or I ask you to kind of share with us the translation of these sayings that I'm about to tell you in your own language, like the translation or the picture that you use in your culture for these terms. So the first thing I want to share with you is, oh, I am between a rock and a hard place. That's the English version. Like, okay, I cannot decide because both kind of options are not really that pleasant. Like, I'm between the rock and a hard place right now. And in Germany, we would say, ich sitze zwischen zwei Stühlen. I'm sitting between two chairs. So I can neither do the one thing or the other thing, because either way the outcome would be kind of bad. So I feel like I'm sitting between two chairs. And I told that to Michal, and he said, well, in Poland, or in Polish, it's they say, I am between the hammer and the anvil. So it sounds kind of painful to me too. And I was telling that to an English friend the other day, and he was like, do you realize something? Like, in every other country, it really hurts when you cannot make a decision. In Germany, it just looks stupid when you sit between two chairs. So I really like to invite you to, like, what's your translation for that? If you cannot decide, or if you have to make a decision and you know that either outcome will be kind of bad. So how would you say that? So I'm between a rock and a hard place. And a bonus phrase, because it's the first episode, of course, the first time that I'm doing the segment. The second phrase is, let me just scroll down. Yeah, the second phrase was, if you're really mad at someone, if you really don't want to see that person ever again, or if you really don't care what will happen to that person in the future, you say to them, oh, you can go to where the pepper grows. Like, geh doch dahin, wo der Pfeffer wächst. Like, go to where the pepper grows. And I did some research on that too, and I found out that this was first used in the Middle Ages in 1512 by a German author who wrote this in his book. And during that time, pepper was kind of scarce, and people didn't really know where that pepper came from, because pepper came from India. And for most people, this was a rarity, and they wouldn't really know where India was. So that was the furthest place that they could imagine. So for them, it might as well be on the other side of the earth. So they just said, well, you can go to where the pepper grows. I don't care. I don't want to see you anymore. And Michal shared that in Polish, you would say, you can go to where the crabs spend their winter. Like, to where the crabs spend their winter. So they would go from the rivers to the sea, or to go to hibernation or whatever, just far, far away. And I like that image. And I also asked my friend Rob, who is from England, what the English people would say for that. Like, if you wish someone really, really far away. And the only translation that he could come up with was, well, if your wife doesn't want you here anymore, you've been sent to Coventry. I've never been to Coventry. I did some research on that. It was quite hard hit after World War II, and it's like an industrial city. And I don't know if the city is particularly boring, or what this thing about Coventry is. Morti, maybe you want to chime in and tell us why people in England get sent to Coventry if other people wish them very, very far away. Yeah, so please tell us what this saying would mean in your language. I'm very, very curious to know. Okay, now finally on to the stitching. I finished right in time for the Hawkeye finale tomorrow. I finished my Loki, Mobius, and Miss Minutes on a jet ski. That was my very, very first rather big piece that I ever started. It's on 14 count Ada. I used 2 strands. I used 310, and I was very unhappy. It looks quite good in the camera, but if I move closer, you can see the coverage is not really to my liking. And after that, or as soon as I started stitching on this black parts down here, I realized, okay, I have to move to a smaller count, or a bigger count with smaller, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean. So I switched to 16 count, and ever since I stayed at 16 count and now moved on to 18 and even to even weave and linen. But yeah, this was my very first piece, and I had a huge gap in between the times that I was working on it, and I had a really harsh black line here because that was the end of the page. And I was very curious to see if there would be a line on here, like after I start again with 310 on this part here. And so far I don't really see any difference in that. Maybe that's just because it's like on this huge scale, like on 14 count. And yeah, but nevertheless, I'm quite happy with it. The pattern is, I found it on Etsy. It's by XCrossStitchPatternX. I also put the link, or the Etsy shop, down in the show notes. And I think it's rather cool. The only thing that my boyfriend said was, why don't they have any faces? Like, where are their eyes and mouths? And I was like, it just looks like that. I mean, it's just, you know, if you don't have eyes or mouths, you can imagine every which facial expression you want to have. And then I found him sitting there on the couch and putting out a meter, getting out like a ruler and trying to measure the faces. And I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I think I might search the internet if I find pictures of Loki and Mobius, and maybe we can just size them so that they would fit in here, and then we can print it out and stick it on there. And I was like, well, my boyfriend is really creative. He really is. So far he didn't find he hasn't found a matching picture yet. So yeah, I really kind of like it. It was my first piece with all the flaws that are in there, with all the different behavior of the different threads and of the different colors. I learned a lot from that, and I am pretty happy that I finished it right in time for the Hawkeye finale. And something that I also finished right in time is this here. It's not fully finished yet. I just have this frame, and my boyfriend and I, we were just playing around with this to see if it would fit, and I'm not really sure how I will finish it or how I will attach the fabric to the back and everything, and I also have to iron it first. But these are 3 Van Gogh paintings picked out of the mini masterpieces pattern that you can find on Etsy. The shop is TheStitchPatterns, and I used some 40 count even weave, 14 count easy count, and just put them next to each other. And I also used 3 strands because I really wanted the coverage to be good, especially on the darker pieces here. And I am very happy about the back stitching. Really looks cool. And and I even had to, because I was running out of this light blue color. It's DMC 747, and I ran out of that color, and I just had to, you know, do a few stitches. Was it on that side? Yeah, a few stitches here, and I couldn't drive out to that one place that sells DMC floss here in Hamburg, so I just went to Karstadt, where they had anchor floss, and I looked up the match, like the conversion from DMC to anchor. I looked it up online and bought the anchor floss, and it matches perfectly. Are you able to tell where I used the other anchor thread instead of the DMC? I think, well, you don't really see it, do you? I was quite impressed with that. I was quite impressed. I even thought, well, if I have to rip out everything else again and just restitch it with the anchor thread, I would do that, but it matched so well that I just left it. Well, and anyway, I will have to finish this tomorrow, and I don't have a clue yet why, but this will make a wonderful gift for my mother-in-law. And again, the pattern is just great. It's a whole book of 50 kind of rather well-known paintings, and they are all in that, well, this is 14 count, so you can make it even smaller if you use smaller counts. And I just think the details and everything, they are really, really stunning. They come out very well. The Etsy shop is the Stitch Patterns. Just put it here for a bit of background. Okay, and as you know, I started if you follow me on Instagram, please do, plug. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I have been doing a hashtag together with Esther, the Danish stitcher, and we have been starting a new nerdy pattern every Sunday, every Advent Sunday leading up to Christmas right now. And I started a few, and I will show them in more detail in my whip parade, but I just wanted to show you one that I was really, really impressed with, or like excited about. I ordered a huge chunk of different fabrics from Cross Stitch Corner, and I actually wanted to start this pattern on 14 count Ada because I wanted to use it up. And then I unpacked my order and I realized that I had ordered Zweigart iridescent fabric, 16 count Ada iridescent. Is it even possible to see? Let me switch off that light. Is that better? Yes, a bit. But do you see that it's also... No, it isn't. Okay, this is horrible. Oh yeah, that's better. So it's iridescent fabric with these wonderful specks in there. It's 16 count, and I used 2 strands, but still the coverage is wonderful. I like the coverage, but you can still see sometimes the sparkles coming through, even through the stitching. Do you see that on Archer's uniform there? This is just so cool. I like that so much. It really fits the theme wonderfully. And I can't wait until I can get back to that and finish it. And I'm really, really happy that I chose this iridescent fabric from Zweigart. So yeah, I also started the Hogwarts crest, and I started on Arrakis, with which I am not really happy because it's my first time using 18 count Ada, and it's really a huge piece, and there's a lot of one color, show a picture here, a lot of one color for the background. And I was thinking about like just doing the half stitch, but then I would have to have 4 strands or 3 strands to get a nice coverage if I just do one leg of the cross. And I still have to kind of experiment with how I will go about that and how I will finish that and how I will go on with that. But that's the learning curve, you know. That's really the wonderful thing about cross stitching for me right now, is that I can still kind of figure out how to how to stitch on that and how to stitch on the different fabrics. I even ordered the fabric samples from Zweigart, like for Murano and like 32 count even weave and linen and all that good stuff, so that I can mix and match, or that I can match up the fabric color with the thread colors that I want to use. Because I also already bought a huge piece of fabric. It looked so good on the internet, and I have never seen it in person. And it's the 32 count Murano even weave vintage marble, that's the word. And I didn't realize that it would look so gray or blue in person. And I mean, it's fine. I will work with it, and I have kind of, you know, cut it to size to use on the Modern Folk embroidery cell, but I'm still not sure if I want to do it. And especially these days that it's already dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I mean, it's dark when I go out to work, and it's dark when I come back, and I only have artificial lighting, and I cannot really mix and match. I cannot really match or see the very variegated thread or the different colors on that fabric and how it will work out in the end. And there is a lot more learning for me to do until I finally know or can order what I want, and know what I want and can order it as I want it to have. Yeah, words. You know what I mean. It sounds like I'm kind of disappointed with this fabric, which I'm not really. I mean, it's fine. I just thought it would be a bit darker. I mean, it's okay, but maybe it's not. Well, the Modern Folk embroidery cell for 2022 is supposed to be a Dutch sampler. Sorry, a Dutch sampler style. So it's rather kind of Delft blue, light blue colors, although he charted it with black, but I suppose that there will be kind of maritime themed images in there, so it might fit. Well, I will anyway, if I don't start it on that, I will definitely start with another thing that I bought from Jacob, which is, sorry, paper, which is this one that I saw on the Silk app, because Jacob is together with Jen Hicks and Historische Stickmuster, a German company. They have this Silk app which works on iPhones and which works similar to Pattern Keeper, although you cannot import PDFs from outside into this app, so you would have to buy, I mean, you can buy all, maybe, well, I don't know if you can buy all, but most of the patterns from Jacob are available there, especially this one, or this one as well. And it was €1 cheaper on that Silk app, as if I would have bought it on his website. It doesn't really make a difference. It was just €1, but maybe something you want to consider. Anyway, so I found this one. I just wanted to try the Silk app, and I will probably only stitch this part here. I don't really need the lettering below that, and it's a nice rectangular thing, and I already cut the fabric to size, and I chose one of the Dinky Dye, and sorry, not the Dinky Dyes, one of the Weeks Dye Works floss that I showed you earlier this year, like this bluish grayish one. Is a variegated thread, and I think these two together will look quite nice. I hope. I will keep you informed. Speaking of Christmas came early for me this year. I mean, it's the 21st, happy solstice everyone, the 21st of December, and I already celebrated Christmas with my father, because he will spend the holidays with my brother and his family and the children, and we will spend Christmas here with my mother-in-law. And so we already celebrated, and he asked me what he could get me for Christmas. And so I ordered something, had it shipped to him, and he wrapped it. And I already unpacked it, and it's just so beautiful. I have been eyeing this one ever since I started like browsing around on the internet for lovely patterns. And this is by a German company, Werkstatt für historische Stickmuster. So it's like workshop for historical stitch patterns. And this one is called The Colors of Fire. Okay, fire. Da, da, da. Is that, yeah? Well, this is the digital mock-up, but if you go to their website, and I will link it below, and I will urge you to click on that link and go to this, go to that site and have a look at the mock-up stitching, like the sample stitching that they did. It's all done in the, what's that word? Overassoir silk threads. And this is the pattern, and this is, you cannot see anything. It's really not good picking up. You have to go to that website. I will put a link down below. It's a stunning hot pink. No, it doesn't really show up any at all. I hate winter. You don't really have good lighting. Stunning purple, lavender colors. Really, please, 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 I urge you, click on that link. The whole page is so cool, and they have a whole series of these colors of the wind and colors of the earth and colors of water, colors of Christmas. It's just so gorgeous. Yeah, I hope you can see from my enthusiasm how gorgeous it is, even if you cannot see it. Well, anyways, it comes with a it must be kind of a, what count is it? Is it a 32 count linen, just a white 32 count linen? And I'm very, very, very excited to start this one. And this will be something completely different from what I've done before. This is really kind of meditative stitching, following the pattern. And I also had a problem, or not a problem, but I was stupid enough to order the printout pattern and not the digital version, like the PDF version. And I contacted them, and they were so nice. I mean, if you follow me on Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have already seen that I have kind of promoted them, and that I have shown that I finally have this one. And they also on Instagram, and they shared my story in their story. Anyway, what I wanted to say is I wrote them a letter, and I was like, well, I was so stupid to order the printout. Would it be possible for me to get the PDF as well, because it's easier for me, or would I have to, I mean, if it's not possible, I will buy the digital version again, or will buy the digital version on the Silk app. And I used the contact form that they provide on their website, and I must have mistyped my email address. And so I wrote the message, and I said, hi everyone, thank you, I'm looking forward to hearing from you by Ilonka, brackets, Stitch-Ilonka. So I just inserted my online name, Stitch-Ilonka, on there. I don't know why I did it, but I did. And they actually really contacted me right the next morning on Instagram, and they said, well, we wanted to send you an email, but it came back. So we contact you via Instagram, and we sorted it out via Instagram. I was so happy that I actually put my Instagram name in there, because I was so stupid to misspell my email address. And these girls are so nice, and I asked them something already in the past, and they answered right away, and I was just very, very happy with them, and they are lovely ladies as far as I could see, and I am so much looking forward to stitching this. It will be kind of a huge endeavor, but I'm here for it. I'm gonna be a very grown-up stitcher next year, like modern folk embroidery sale on even weave, and doing some kind of sophisticated stuff on linen. I will still stitch something like this. I will. definitely. So I have been on Flosstube for quite some time, and I know about Stitchy Kindness, you know, like when people send other people stuff and just be kind to each other. And I was like, oh, that's really nice. I like that people like each other, and that's wonderful, but I never expected to get anything myself. And then Amber asked me for my address, and she said she wanted to send me a postcard, like a Christmas card. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I could probably handle a postcard that's really nice. So I will look what American stamps will look like and American postcards, and I will send her a postcard, and that's nice. And then Esther asked me for a for my address too, and she went above and beyond, and she sent me a whole care package of things. She dyed some fabric. She sent me some silk threads because we were talking about how I am wanting to get into silk threads, and she was like, don't ever touch them because you will get addicted. And she was right. And so she sent me Misu Sidas variegated threads. This one, the green one, is called Mojito. I have to stitch Steve. No, Steve? Quatsch. Brian. Brian Mojito. Oh, it's so soft. I can't stop smoking. And the other one is called Sienna. Orangey, yellow, brownish color. And I am loving it. Gorgeous, isn't it? Yeah. And then she also remembered that I was talking about stitching some things in glow-in-the-dark thread, and so she probably had some in her stash and sent me the DMC glow-in-the-dark thread. So cool! I mean, I cannot wait to try it out. And then she also sent me some hand-dyed fabric. This pumpkin gray color, pumpkin? Like it's orange. I mean, these are colors that I've never seen before. And I was actually thinking about dyeing stuff myself. And then I thought, well, my bathroom is so tiny and I don't want to ruin it. And maybe I could just first start with the things that are available. But anyways, so she sent me some 14 count Ada, which she hand dyed herself, which is gorgeous. I am not really a Halloween person, but this one and also this one looks so good. This is 25 Lugana even weave. Oh my god. You know, once I had this fabric in my hand, I was like, I have to stitch something Halloween on this. That's how you get tempted. That's how they lure you into this community, you know. 25 Lugana even weave in baby blue. Oh, gorgeous. And it feels so good. And a huge thing, a 14 count Ada in this sandy color, and I already know what I'm at. I will stitch Tom Holland Dancing Umbrella on this one. I'll definitely do it. This one will be probably for one of the blue-footed boobies that I have. One of them, like as if he was on the beach. Well, he's not really on the beach, is he? Like he lives on Galapagos. Well, anyway. The original Lugana vintage mocha, so that I know what it looks like. That was before I ordered, I ordered the samples already. But anyway, another even weave Lugana, 25 count. Smells like fabric, and I have some makeup on there now. No. It's the same color, so. And this one is also very cool. 16 count Ada in squeaky green. Something like that. Oh, looks so good. I don't know if she sells it or not. I don't think so yet, but these the colors are so cool. And she also sent me a tiny little needle minder along with it, and of course a wonderful postcard with a lot of Spike quotes. And the funny thing was, we were talking about Spike and we were talking about James Masters a few times via Instagram, and I started rewatching Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I just started it, and the next day her package arrived with the Spike postcard, and I was like, yeah, kindred spirits. And she also sent along 2 tiny little frames. I don't yet know what I would put in there, but I will find something. And I'm so grateful and so happy. You have no idea, because usually I am the one, you know, packing stuff together for someone, because I know what they like and I know what they want, and they would probably never buy it themselves, or they don't know how to try it out or whatever. Usually I am the one. And now that we will be celebrating Christmas again, I'm, you know, kind of missing my mom, because as the older you get, you will probably have like a more reasonable purchases and presents. You know, my boyfriend and I, we usually talk about what we want, and we usually buy something together for our apartment or whatever. And I haven't had any kind of surprise gifts for so long, and unpacking this made me realize how much I was kind of deprived of that feeling of being surprised by something, because my mom was usually the one. I mean, she asked me what I wanted for Christmas or for my birthday, and I would usually get that, and then there would be like 2 or 3 other things, tiny things, not expensive, not anything, but she would surprise me with that, and she was the only one to do that. And so, yeah, I was so grateful, and I'm so much looking forward to Amber's card as well, because I haven't received a Christmas card in years and years and years. I hope it doesn't get lost in the mail, because from the US, I don't know how long it will take, but I just hope that it doesn't get lost. So yeah, thank you so much, Esther. You're just wonderful, and yeah, just wonderful. Thank you. So let me close this short check-in out with some plans for the future. I will, as I said, film a whip parade and an FFO parade, and whatever parade. I will put on a parade for you in between the years. And I'm very much looking forward to that, to take the time to go through all my whips and my stash and think about what I will stitch on these wonderful hand-dyed fabrics by Esther. And I will, what else I have written down, something. Oh yeah, and as I mentioned before, I want to really cultivate a different process for stitching for me, not just cranking out presents and small stuff and nerdy stuff and geeky stuff that I can hang on the wall right after, you know, like a few days after I started it, but also really cultivate the meditational side of stitching and really concentrating on stuff and doing some really nice, wonderful things. And also want to, yeah, I also want to kind of establish kind of a concise schedule for my Flosstubes and Stickjunkie, like the German Flosstube versions, because I really want to make a German meetup happen next year. So again, if you are German, or if you are close to Germany and want to maybe join us next year, it might probably be somewhere in the middle of next year, because right now everything is shut down again due to the thing that we don't want to name. Who said that? There is a Flosstube who said that. Anyway, so yeah, these are my plans, and for now I just have to say I wish you a lovely Christmas time, holiday time, whatever you celebrate, whatever you're doing over the next 2 weeks. I wish you a lovely time, and all the best wishes for the new year. Oh, we will see each other before that. But anyway, and I just want to say thank you for the last few weeks here on Flosstube with you wonderful people. And you made me feel so welcome, and I just enjoy it so much here. And yeah, love, 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 love. My dears. Yes, in Hamburg sagt man tschüss. In Hamburg we say tschüss, and see you soon. Please subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and then you will know when I upload my web parade. Until then, my lovelies, bye bye.